In this project, I applied a modified version of ClinicalBERT on the Indiana chest X-ray dataset made available in the CAML homework assignment. What is ClinicalBERT? ClinicalBERT is a pre-trained version of BERT initially developed by Kuxin Huang, John Althusar, and Rajesh Ranganath. Huang and his colleagues trained BERT on EHR data to enhance its capabilities in natural language tasks in the medical domain. Using their fine-tuned version of BERT, they were able to accurately predict 30-day hospital readmission from clinical discharge notes using the admissions and notes tables in MIMIC 3. The article that I intended to replicate for this project was not the original ClinicalBERT article, but a follow-up article entitled ClinicalBERT Using a Deep Learning Transformer Model to Predict Hospital Readmission by Nwamake Imosaji. Imosaji realized that rather than predicting readmission at the time of discharge, it would be more useful to predict readmission based on day 2 and day 3 notes prior to discharge, so that caregivers could intervene and prevent readmission before the patient had left the hospital. Imosaji achieved reasonably good results in her study with evaluation accuracies of 63% for both days using the same MIMIC 3 tables. Although I initially prepared notebooks to pre-process data in the same manner as Imosaji because I never ended up getting access to MIMIC 3 data, at the suggestion of CS598's head TA Zhenbang Wu, I utilized the Indiana chest X-ray data made available in the CAML homework assignment. This meant going from 3 million records of data to less than 4,000 rows of data. The data contained a subject ID, a clinical text description, and a label comprising a multi-hot vector. The first field in the multi-hot vector represented whether the X-ray was normal, 1, or abnormal, 0. And so I used that one field to create binary values and modified Imosaji's code to work with the new data. The model was initially trained for one epoch using a batch size of 32. When the model failed to converge, I tried running as many as 8 epochs with no effect. Changing the learning rate also had no significant reduction in the loss function. As can be seen in these graphs, AUCPR and AUROC curves were both extremely low. AUCPR was 0.28 and AUROC was 0.26. I was actually stuck at these levels for over a week, during which playing around with the hyperparameters made no difference whatsoever. After staring at lists of target and prediction values, I noticed that the predicted and target values were at odds with one another more often than they were correct. I further noticed that Imosaji had been predicting a bad thing as 1, whereas I was predicting a good thing as 1. And so it occurred to me that I would get much better results by simply reversing the polarity of the labels. I reprocessed the CAML data accordingly. This made all the difference, as can be seen in the figures shown here. AUPRC rose from 0.28 to 0.83, and AUROC went from 0.26 to 0.74. Increasing the learning rate to 5.E-3 also gave better results. In this way, I was able to achieve evaluation accuracies on the order of 0.61 and an RP80 of 0.63. These values are on par with what Imosaji herself attained and are quite satisfactory considering that my dataset was orders of magnitude smaller than hers. Oddly, my results seem to suggest that ClinicalBERT does care about the polarity of the labels. This may be an artifact of the way ClinicalBERT was trained. Thank you.